Hola everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Talk with Gabe. I'm here, my sidekick is here, and so is our guest, Jojo Padrón. So, make sure you grab your snacks, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And don't forget, if you're tuning in on Anchor.fm, leave me a message. You may just be featured in an upcoming show. And check out our listener feedback to see who has already been featured. Hola, Jojo. Welcome to the show. ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, muy bien. Thanks for having me, Gabe. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's about all I can say in Spanish. But I'm working on it.
Me too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so just thank you for being on. And
we really appreciate you coming on to the show. So thanks for coming on and sharing your knowledge with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I was so honored. And obviously, during, somewhat quarantine here and there, we got some extra time. So definitely, what's going on, guys?
Awesome. Well, jump right into it, Mr. Silver.
All right. Well, so first of all, how have you been holding up during quarantine? And what's it like doing your show from home?
It's like a 50-50 feel. It's kind of one of those things when it first started, I was like, oh, man, this is good. I get to do the show, like, in PJs, or I, don't have to shower before I go to work or something. I was like, all right, we're going to caveman this thing. This is going to be all right. And, after a couple of weeks, you're just like, all right, now I need to go to work to be able to relax because I have 3 kids and my parents, we take care of my parents and then the wife and everybody's at the house. So being a teacher, being a parent, and working, doing 3 radio shows a day, social media, you're like, all right, I think I need to go to actual work to be able to relax now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Work is like the vacation spot.
Yeah, exactly. Now it is. I think work did that on purpose. So they could be like, see, you wanted to leave all early back in the day, and now you're trying to come back. So there it is.
Oh, yeah. I've been told
how the tables have turned.
Exactly.
Okay, so.
How about you guys?
I think we've been holding up pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
The podcast kind of came out of quarantine. It was a random idea. We were sitting there bored.
Yep.
And decided to do something fun together. So
now here we are.
Of simplest of any kind of thought is what ends up being the most relatable and amazing gift that we could give to either entertain or create. So it's the greatest or the most randomest ideas. So that's awesome.
Thank you. And it's really fun. It's been fun to kind of share this little time with him. He's what's his name? You're the guy.
What?
What's his name? Kelly Ripa. I'm Kelly Ripa, and I forgot the guy's name.
Ryan.
Oops. Oh, Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest. There you go. He's not that famous.
No, not at all.
So, Jojo, you've had an interesting journey in the entertainment world from working as a child actor to being a top radio personality. So tell us about your journey.
Well, the journey started way long ago, 1986, 85. I can recall, growing up in a Cuban-American Hispanic household with grandparents and cousins. I mean, there was probably about, I'm going to say at one moment at a time, around 11 to 14 of us living in a small 2-apartment duplex. And growing up in that, atmosphere with abuelas and everything, Univision was always on. And there was a show that had just started during that time that was called Sábado Gigante. Little to know that it would be the longest running TV show in the world's history.
Wow.
So it started off in Chile. Then in 1985, between 84 to 85, around there, it started in a little channel in Miami, Florida. It was Univision. And I saw that they had contests. I think my brother had won like some kind of trophy. I have no idea doing what. He's not that talented. But I tell him all the time. And then so I wanted a trophy. so then I saw that they had like some kind of contest or something. I kept telling my mom, hey, I want to go. She wouldn't listen, and I kept saying it, and then my grandmother said, hey, just take them, just to audition, whatever. So at little school plays or whatever in first grade or like kindergarten or something, I used to always dance. They used to always pair me up with a girl, and we went, did the tryouts, got picked, and we went for the dance contest, and boom, we won. It was dancing salsa, and my mom taught me how to dance very, very young age, and it just had fun. About 3 months down the road, they called me back, and I guess they were hurting for contestants, and they were like, hey, we're calling back to see if you want to come back on. And I said, well, yeah. I was already mad I didn't win a trophy in the first place. We won like cash, and at that time it was like about $100-$200, and I went again, and I won again. And when I won again, I was still mad because I didn't get a trophy, and I got money. I think it was like $600 this time. And yeah, so Menchaca, which is one of the most world famous producers, it was Don Francisco's right-hand man forever. Now, this man is probably around 7 feet tall. He's the tallest Chilean guy I've ever met in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, he was huge. He came up to me, and I'm not even tall now. And imagine when I was like 5. And he came up to me right after I won and said, hey, would you like to be on the show? Or he told my mom, actually. My mom said, well, I don't know, ask him. He came up to me with this huge green giant. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was like, sure, why not? I'll get to hang out. After that day, it was around 7 to 7 years that I was consecutively on that show, being able to travel all across South America, meeting presidents, meeting, super huge celebrities, just kind of childhood memories, running around studios, and it was a blessed time. It was a different time because kids now get paid for working. Back in the day, there was no child labor laws, especially not in the Hispanic market, and very little still. So advantage of the kind of popularity that I had. And I never talked like that, but I was, probably one of the most recognized kids because I did a kids show there. So it was segments for kids. The kids say the darndest things like in Spanish. Then it was like skits, like Saturday Night Live kid skits, or like All About You kind of style of skits, right? And
right.
And we did all that in judging kids contests and everything. So it was like an array of a variety show that we were a part of, and with that I gained a lot of popularity with a tagline that I had that was, y esa es la opinión de José Jojo Padrón. I was very passionate when I gave my opinions, and that was it was basically just saying that's my opinion and that's my name, and people would love that. If I would have trademarked that puppy and put it on T-shirts and sold it at the swap meet or somewhere, we would have made some good cash. But that's the whole thing. Back in the day, there was not that much knowledge. My parents didn't come from an entertainment background, so those were things that you kind of have to open yourself up. And now as an adult, even as a teenager, I always thought big, and people were like, man, but you come from a poor middle class. How can you think that big? Like, I was like, well, you got to think big. If it happens smaller, that's fine, but at least you shot for big,
right.
Because why not, right? So after that, after the show, it was kind of weird because people don't prepare you for what happens after the cameras turn off and everything, So, back in the day, there was no iPhone, so it was like a Rolodex of phone numbers where you actually had a dial, right? And there's that old saying, the Rolodex of people went away, because once you're not on a show, per se, this is things that parents should really talk to their kids about and understand that, there's friends in the world, and then there's people that and there's business acquaintances, and there's a difference. That, since my parents were not in an entertainment industry kind of mindset or world, didn't really know. And it's fun. You kind of go for the ride, but I would just recommend and suggest, you go to school for a year with certain kids, and then the next year you're in a different class, right? And maybe you're not that much of friends anymore. So at the same time, there should be that distinction where like I said, once the show was over, a lot of these people, the phone stopped ringing because you were not useful anymore. But the way to really understand that is, there's certain times where you're going to meet people that are going to look like they're your friends, but they're not. They're just people in the industry that you have to realize that it's not you don't want to talk to them. It's just understand that they're there for business, although it may seem very friendly. And just kind of give that distinction of what's family, what's friends, and what's just work-related friends. That's one of the most important things that I think you really need to instill that, especially in young entertainers and actors and things like that. But that's something that I would have definitely have done different. But no regrets. These are things you learn for, if you keep going in your career.
That's amazing.
I actually have a question. Would you let your kids do the same thing you did?
For many years I said no. I didn't want that for them, and I think I did wrong just because, that's not for me to dictate. I had that opportunity, and it went well. I was in a movie called The Perez Family with Marissa Tomei, Angelica Houston, Chaz Palminteri. I did Spanish sitcoms after that. Depression did have a factor in certain areas of my life due to the fact that I just didn't understand how, the whole situation of you had friends and then there were certain people that you thought were friends weren't there anymore. That was very, hard for me to understand during my teenage years, right? There's no true Hollywood story, crazy, anything like that, but depression did sink in, and it was a rough time for, several moments of my life that even carried on to my adulthood, right? So for my kids, I said no, but now they're gaining this huge interest in it. And they're not afraid of the camera, and they have different interests in it. So it's something that I would support them. It's something that I'd let them know that this is something that if you have fun, do it. It's just like a recreational sport. Mm-hmm. Just if you're going to go into it, make sure you don't have any regrets. If you really want to go into this, it's kind of like LeBron and all these kids. Like my son wanted to play basketball, and I love him, but he just picked up a basketball. I was like, yeah, I'll make the team. I was like, dude, you got to practice. You got to work at your craft. So if you look at Jordan, you look at the greats in sports, Tiger Woods, and you keep going, Larry Bird, all these people, they practice day and night, and they lived and breathed it. So you have to understand that the craft of acting and all this is the same thing. You have to live it. And now it's through social media, through your channels, through your stuff, and your craft keeps getting better and better and better.
That's so. As kind of like a parent, would you tell your own kids and everyone else that acting or whatever kind of thing, it's not a hobby, it's actually a job, and should they treat it like that?
You have to pick and choose what it is that you it's just really up to the child.
Okay.
When it comes to that, it's really up to the child. You as a parent, if you see something special in them that you think that they're really good at something, or you got to remember, parents, we think our kids are like amazing at everything. Some have a good eye to be like, no, you're not that good at that. I don't want to discourage you, but maybe you might be better at this. The thing is, if the child has the passion for it and you guide them in a friendly and good atmosphere, it's just like for sports. If kids have a good background and they love playing sports and they're having fun at it, they keep playing it for the rest of their life. Now, when acting becomes a drag and they don't want to do it anymore, then that's when you just got to pull that cord, for them at least, until they get a little bit older and understand if that's something that they want to get back into, then go right ahead. But if you are going to get into acting seriously, this is something that needs to be taken seriously, as far as, yes, you have to craft this as a career, as an art, once you get into it. Again, though, it's for me, I've always had the most success when I have fun. The money will come, but you have to be prepared when the money does come and have a plan set. Mm-hmm. So you don't think just about the money, how we're going to, it's you plan and say, this is what we have, and I think if it goes well, then we'll do these steps. But as of right now, let's pick a bit, let's pick a segment, let's pick a show, let's pick whatever it is that we're going to be doing on social media or going for acting, and just have fun with it. If you have fun, everything will come.
That's awesome.
I think that's the best advice you can give to anyone.
I really do. I think that's great advice.
And after the hardest time that I had after an audition was the waiting, because I was never really good. If someone ever told me, "Oh, I got a gift for you," I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to find out right now. My birthday's not until like 2 weeks. Why would you do this for me? I'm so impatient. This is horrible." And I would just die. I was like, "No, why would you ever? Why would you do this to me? I thought you liked me." But I think one of the best things you could ever do is to have some kind of recreational sports or just stress relieving exercise activity right after any audition for the next few days, and not talk about it, not think about it, and that would be something to really direct the child's mind away from having to wait. Are they going to get a call back? Are they not? What's going to happen? That dead time. That's one of the things I would have done differently that I started picking up as I got older, that I wish I would have done as a kid, is definitely redirecting your energy to something just to cover that time, so that impatientness, that stress, that anxiety doesn't build into a young actor's mind.
That's good advice.
Yeah, that's great because I'm impatient myself.
Yeah. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to understand. Whatever it is that you're kind of going through, to one degree or another. I was there, and that's one of those things like I hear you say that right now. It's only a person that's been in that room, that comes out and then waits, will ever know. And it's like in any kind of profession or sport, only a person that has been in that position is going to know. So. Definitely that tip is one of the greatest tips. If you don't want your child to be super anxious, that is a good tip.
That's a very good tip. And you're right. Parents, we can help them study. We can help them go over lines, and we can drive them there. But it's all up to you guys. When you go in that room, we have no idea what you're feeling, what happens in the room. And when you come out, we only believe what you tell us. So that's very good advice.
Yeah, and support is great there, but also hold the kids accountable and tell them, look, if you really want to keep doing this, then you really got to put your effort into it, because if you're not going to put your effort into it, I can't keep taking time out of my day for something that, may possibly work or not. But if you're not putting 100%, it's more than likely not going to work out. So, it's a give and take, and it's an agreement, and it should be a healthy relationship, really, when it comes to this.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. Now,
okay.
you're also a, Univision radio personality, and you have 3 different shows on Univision. How do you go about choosing your guests on the show, and then how do you go about choosing your topics? Do you have someone like a producer, or how does your show work?
Well, no, it's more a radio. It's more music intensive and quick content, pop culture intensive shows. And I've mostly been in either Spanish pop, urban music, Spanish urban, or English urban. Just more of if you're from California, think about a KISS FM or Power 106 type of feel. If you're from here, Houston, it's Latino mix, which is Latin pop urban, and Spanish, or like Vox or KRBE type of thing, right? So that's always been my genre as far as when it came to music, as radio stations. As far as being a producer and stuff, that was more back in the day. There's still some. I did mornings for many, many, many years. Almost more than half of my career was doing morning shows. And there we did have producers, and you would have to be a producer as well. And interviews and things like that would kind of come your way already, because people want to promote certain things and artists, and people are coming to town. as of now, it's more online social media artists, and the company, due to just corporate rules, blah blah blah. They pick the guests for you, and it's not so much guest intensive anymore with radio. Ever since the iPhone and smartphones and tablets and all kinds of different outlets started popping up, the attention span of anybody has gone just from 20 seconds to 5 seconds to a half a second, and people don't really go on the radio anymore to do kind of interviews like that anymore. They leave that more for social media content where you could visualize it, see it, and or podcast. There's just a different section for it. Now it's just people want to hear music, people want to hear what's going on in their city. They want to know how they could get prepared, and they want to know about something cool that they could hear about that maybe they could mention to somebody else later on and feel and act all cool like they're super smart.
So you're a 2-time Emmy winner. Wow, that's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I never thought it would happen, and I really dug deep into this opportunity that came up within the Univision family, and I was always silly, goofy, just doing fun, quirky videos and stuff like that, and always working somewhat close with TV on certain segments. And then one producer came up to me, her name's Susie. She came down from Dallas, and she said, I really want to do something different here, and you're the only person that comes to mind that could probably pull this off. And I want you to give news that our news anchors can't give. And I said, well, I'm the guy then, because I don't do news. And so they were like, all right, let's try it out. So basically it just became a viral video and what's the daily news show, just kind of making fun of certain political events and funny videos and making fun of these people that were doing these videos and just not very bright, maybe criminals and things like that. And I wrote it and produced it with a camera guy, and then the producer will oversee it and okay it at the end. I got denied on a whole bunch of skits. They pulled the cord on a whole. I guess I did way too crazy stuff for Univision at 5 and 10. This needs to really be on another cable thing, but I get it. So, it was a little bit discouraging, but I kept fighting. And that first year we did it, where I won Best Lone Star Emmy for Best Entertainment Segment as a crew and Best Host of the Year of any entertainment segment, no matter the language. So that was very, very, very just an amazing moment in my career that I could share with my wife and with my kids, and they saw that the hard work, the long hours of me just writing and producing and grabbing the material and basically doing, a lot of the meat, giving it to the camera guy for him to, master, edit everything, and then giving to the producer as a team to okay everything. It was a lot of work, especially when you're, kind of doing it on your own.
That's true.
Looks like you got that trophy after all.
I got the trophy. It took like I don't know how many years, but anyways.
But you got it too.
I got it. I was biting it. I thought they were made out of gold, so I was biting it. I was like, ooh, maybe I could. I'll keep the angel, but I'll sell the globe one day or something. But no, they're not gold.
Oh man.
I think they're plated. They're plated gold, but it's cool. They stay shiny, and that's all good. See, I have 3 kids now, so one of my goals is to at least, hopefully, at one point or another in my career, win another one, so that I could leave one of these trophies, one of these bad boys, to all 3 of my kids. But I think one of them is going to have to get gypped, or they're going to have to break one apart. So we'll find out.
I told Gabe if he ever wins something like that,
She's
first one,
it.
I'm going to take it.
She's taking
I'm going to just sneak in his house and take it.
She's going to steal
There
it.
you go.
Hide it.
You can toss shotgun. First dibs.
Yeah,
There it is.
exactly. I got dibs.
You've had a long and rewarding career. What has been the highlight of that?
Oh man, the highlight. There's so many highlights. It just it goes in every type of era. I think every there's going to be super highs and there's going to be super lows. And thank God I've had more highs than lows. And you got to be prepared for the lows. That's what I really want to talk about, because the highs are great. There's been times where I've met amazing stars, and I've been able to hang out with just artists left and right. But really, truly, some of the best parts of my career have just been the long life friendships that I've made with certain people, not everyone, certain people in my career that really just bring that happiness, that joy whenever you think about radio, my family, my kids, my wife, certain moments that I've been able to share with them, whether it was taking my kids for the first time on stage or doing something with them, or just opportunities that I've been able to share with them because of this career that not many people get to live. They, to a certain extent, understand that it's pretty cool and that it's different, but since they've grown up with it, sometimes they get spoiled, because I remember I bought some tickets for like a show sometime. They're like, "We don't have front row? Like, what happened?" I was like, "I'm just serious right now." I was like, "Are you serious right now?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm buying you the back of the whole arena every time from now on." So,
oh no.
Yeah, so yeah, they thought it was normal for us to be able to have like either front row or backstage access to certain things, because due to work you get to have those, and not for pleasure but to go work, and they were like, oh, they were just expecting that. So that was a weird part. But as far as highlights, it's just being able to help. I definitely help friendships, events with family that I've been able to have in my life through my career. But definitely one of the biggest things is when you have this kind of outlet, when you have this kind of power to be able to be an advocate or pick certain areas that you really want to focus on and help others, that's going to be one of the biggest keys and just an amazing thing you could leave for as a legacy, right?
Right.
Not do it just to do it, but do it because you genuinely care, and it has no money attached to it, but it just has like hearts and lives and an issue that you feel needs to get fixed, and you fight for that, and that gives you a reason. Sometimes we lose that motivation, that reason, but you'll gain it back whenever that time needs to happen.
It's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. So you have interviewed a bunch of cool people, as you said, but what has been the strangest show you've done to date?
Man, I've had so many that they kind of get lost, but I hate putting people out there, so I'm not. But I'll tell you the funniest thing. Some of the biggest stars are the most humbling and super cool people. And some of the stars that were kind of cool at a certain moment but aren't that cool anymore or relevant are the worst to interview and super divas. Because they just automatically think, or even artists that haven't even really made it yet, certain of them are just horrible to interview. They have just ridiculous demands. Their attitude is horrible. And yeah, that's what I've noticed. So super huge stars, super humble for the most end, and you get a lot of these new upcoming stars that a lot of them are cool, but you get some that you're just like, are you kidding me right now? You haven't even been to the corner and you're acting this way. Or what are the old school? Yeah, some of the old school artists or something that kind of had like a one-hit wonder or something, and they're trying to make it back. Super diva-ish. Those are the worst kind of interviews, and I'm just like, it's so awkward.
How do you pull that off? Like
how do you do that without losing your sanity or something?
Yeah.
I ask myself that every single time I end one of those, so I don't know. It just happens. So you kind of go into a blank. There's some where, I like to talk a lot of mess, so I start talking some mess sometimes in the hopes that it ends quickly. And start asking some really inappropriate, weird questions myself in hopes that we could end it and wrap it up. But yeah, you know what? Just one of the funniest things that I felt bad afterwards was we did a prank call to Eric Estrada. He was calling in because he was on some kind of show, some reality show that I forgot. and we did this character voice, and we just kept messing with him, and I felt bad because he got really crazy with us. I mean, he got really mad, and it was funny, but afterwards I was like, oh, I should have never done that to Ponch, and Poncherelli from Chips, yeah. So,
Right.
other than that, it's just having fun with interviews.
That's cool. Oh, I remember he was in that one novela. What is it? Dos Mujeres, Un Camino?
Yeah, so we just started messing around asking him about old school stuff, and for a good long time he was like selling some kind of like swampland in Florida, and I think I made up that like my father-in-law bought one of those plots and like his house sunk or something, and he was like, no, I don't have anything, and we just kept messing with him from like every single angle possibly that you could rip on Poncherelli there.
Poor
and
Ponch.
poor Ponch. So he had to take it. But he was a good sport afterwards, sort of. I think. I hope.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Well, we are going to take a small commercial break, guys.
Yep.
And JoJo, would you join us after commercial?
Yeah, man. I'm hanging out for a little bit. We're in quarantine. We're hanging out.
Awesome.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so much for listening to that message from our sponsor. If you haven't downloaded the Anchor app, go ahead and please do so and start making your podcast today.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. We're going to get to the fun questions now.
I like the fun questions.
Right. So, JoJo, what is your favorite city?
Favorite city? Man, I got so many favorite cities. I've lived across like the United States. So I was born and raised in Miami. So certain things that I love to do in Miami. I love California. I love Los Angeles, and I love Houston. Phoenix was cool. I lived in Phoenix for 6 years. It was too hot, and I think people live in Phoenix. I think you get a little bit of like heat stroke forever, and it affects your brain a little bit. And I tried to leave a couple of times, but the heat stopped me, and it was so brutal. So I think people try to escape Phoenix, but they really can't because of the heat, and it's an evil weapon that Phoenix has. But no, it's beautiful. It's nice. Albuquerque, I was there for a year. It's so beautiful. There's nothing to do after 20 minutes, but the food is amazing. And Miami and Los Angeles and Houston are definitely my favorite.
I would have to vote for Miami and Los Angeles and Houston too. Yeah, I love Miami.
I think I know why it's named Phoenix now.
Why?
You just said
hot. So. Phoenix is cool for like 3 days, and after that, you're gonna want to be there in December. That's for sure.
So no trips to Phoenix, guys.
I got
it. Not in the summer. Winter times are beautiful. Any other time is beautiful. Not the summer.
What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? I love home cooked food. I love Cuban cuisine that my mom makes, and my wife's Mexican food. So my wife is born here, Mexican parents. So that whole Q-mix cuisine mix, I love. And my favorite dinner is Thanksgiving. Like we celebrate that Thanksgiving type of style every once in a while. Even for my birthday, I'll be like, we're gonna have a pre-Thanksgiving, like stuffing, turkey, the whole little shebang. I love that.
Oh, that's neat. I don't like turkey though.
I like turkey.
I know.
I love.
There's a weird one that always asks for a ham.
Yeah, I'm the weird one. I always ask for ham for Thanksgiving. I know.
I just
right?
Everything's good. Everything's good, and we add white rice and black beans to everything that we do, so it's all good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Man, I don't have a favorite movie. It's whatever makes me laugh or gets me all. I like suspenseful movies, and I love funny movies. And then some of the dramas and stuff, they're okay. I'll take those. But suspenseful is like amazing. My wife says I jump, and I get all kind of anxious everywhere. And and fight scenes, but comedy, there's nothing like laughing. I love laughter.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Okay, so What is your favorite TV show?
TV show right now, man, it's with streaming, you kind of like go through a whole show and then you move on. But right now, I'm sad to say my novela is one that's on ABC, which I thought was pretty cool because I had never seen something too like it. It's called the Baker and the Beauty and the Baker, Baker and the Beauty, something like that.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It is. I love it because it takes place in Miami, and I know the cultural part of it, and just the whole dynamics of it. I just think is pretty cool. But I'm a huge documentary buff, so I'm watching all these alien documentaries going on right now on Netflix and Amazon. So I'm like loving all of those. But yeah, we went through all the shows like Raising Dion. We went through the Joe Exotic Tiger King one. We went through just all the norms that everyone's gone through right now through quarantine.
Yeah, by the time quarantine's over, I'm pretty sure half the population will have finished Netflix.
Yeah. Like Netflix.
Well, yeah. And there's no filming going on right now, so I think we're going to have to go right back to reading more books. So, yeah.
That's true. That is true.
I think you came up with this question. Okay.
I did.
So,
I like this question. It's fun.
You are going to have a Zoom birthday party. Who is the one guest that you would want to attend?
The one guest that I would love to attend through Zoom?
Like a Zoom birthday party, because we can't quite get together yet. And so you have to have a Zoom birthday party. So who is the one guest that you want to pop up on screen?
Man, good Lord.
It can be anybody.
I got a really good buddy of mine. I know it could be anybody, but it has to be somebody that's meaningful to me. It's a good buddy of mine, Joe. My brother's going to hate me, but I love my brother. But if it's going to be a party, it's going to be Joe because he's one of the people that I've been able to have some of the best talks with. And we always just have a great time. As far as like an artist goes, man, I think it would be J Balvin, dude. Like, he's such a cool vibe. Him or Bad Bunny. They just have like an amazing vibe and just really do genuinely good and just their music and everything is just it's some of my favorites.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, if you could only take 5 things to a desert island, what would they be?
Why does it have to be Phoenix? I mean, a desert island. 5 things that I would take with me. Definitely. Okay, let's see here. Definitely some chocolate, even though it's gonna melt the heck out of it. I love root beer, chocolate, and desert island. Definitely water. I'd have to take, and I definitely would have to take. Oh man, some deodorant because it's gonna be hot. And let me see, and a hat because I ain't got no hair. So I don't know if that's 5 marks there. It's gonna be odd. It's gonna be a very weird time in the desert if I just bring that. Believe me.
I know I say this all the time whenever I ask this question to people, and no one seems to pick a boat. Like, just get a boat so you can leave. You can come back.
Oh, desert island? Well, you just kind of want to get away sometimes for a while.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, if it's Phoenix, you can just take a plane, but.
Well, I see. I completely forgot it was like a desert island. I thought it was just like a remote desert area. So my bad.
No, it's a desert.
Fine.
It's fine. It's fine. You're like in the middle of the ocean.
I know. I would have died. I would have died there. It's okay.
So by the time this is over, you're probably going to have some new fans. So what is one thing you want your new fans to know about you?
One thing, I could move my ears. That is an amazing talent that my employer has not known. No, just kidding. One thing that I'd like them to know is I love to have fun and I love to entertain, and I'd love to meet them. And I love responding to messages on Instagram, Facebook. It's at JOJOALAIRE, Jojo Al Aire. And, come check it out. Check out the videos. I always include my kids and include just fun artists, and I'm always posting. So yeah.
That's cool.
If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing instead?
I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. Probably working with like customizing cars or some kind of agency, ad agency, or just real estate, cars, and woodworking. But I really enjoy just creating content. So I don't know if it's the same as what I'm doing now. Like, was it on radio and stuff like that? Definitely probably have some kind of like advertising agency or something that has to do still with it, because I just enjoy it so much.
Great. Before we go, I have one last question for you. What's next for JoJo?
Man, I didn't plan this far, so I'm asking myself the same question. It's crazy, because when I was young, I like think about just like, when I get to 30, I'm going to be 40 this year. And I didn't plan this far, so I don't know. So I have to start sketching out some kind of stuff out. So, it's that point where, you got kids and certain different responsibilities, so it's not as easy. So what I can tell anybody and everyone is, before you have kids, when you're in your 20s and teens and early 20s and early 30s, make as many mistakes as possible and just try out as many things as possible, and just be super, super just brave, and just go out there and just try everything and anything out. And the only other thing that I would say is always take a little bit of money and put it towards retirement. Since you start working from 15 or 18, just put money away. Doesn't mean you have to have a career yet. Doesn't mean this and that. It could only be $20 to just start a retirement plan, and then just go crazy when you're young. And then that way, when you get older and work really hard, when you get older, it'll be a lot easier.
That's good advice.
That's good advice. I think we can leave it on that.
I think that's a great point to leave it on.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you too. Bless you guys, and I had a fun time. And take care. Wash your hands.
Thank you all so much for listening. Special thanks to our guest, Jojo Padrón. He gave us some really great advice. I hope y'all were listening. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Let us know what you think about the show, and don't forget to tune in next time. Adios, y'all.